Hey everybody, hi, it's Wednesday surprise. So today we're going to be working on this little ditty here. I call this the spinner element 3+ ways, and it is pretty darn simple. I did all of the research and development for you to make this all work. I did one of these. This is basically just sort of a keychain ring, right? You wouldn't want to use this for keychain with aluminum, but you can definitely make this in any kind of metal that you particularly like. And that spacing of the barbell link right there is as per the title, spins around, and it's just kind of fun. You can put a bead on there, or you don't have to. Today we're not going to, because sometimes I just like to do beadless things. Okay, so let's get cracking. I want to be able to make some of these. We are going to go to this view here. Look at how good I'm getting at this. And I got all of the 12 gauge wire out, you guys. Let me just go here and see. I just want to put the link up for you guys. Let's go here, get into this, and go into here, open, and grab the link. How about recents? Where is it? Where is it? I will get it. It's the 12 gauge link that I pretty much use almost every darn time. Why am I in here? Oh. Documents. Oh dear. Okay, get out of there and go into here. That's what I'm doing wrong. Here's recents. John Bead link. So you have a whole document right in here. I love this. And we're going to look for not the 18 gauge. Oopies. Taking care of it. Here it is. This is the 12 gauge aluminum wire, and all the colors will be there. So I'm going to close this, close that, and we're going to go into comments and post this here. So just a plethora, or at least around 12 different colors. Let's see if it goes through, goes through. Hey, that one we went on the first time. Sometimes we have to do it twice. And now that's a jig said, it's given us a hard time, so we're going to try that one again. So that is the little bit.ly link there. Looks like it went. All right, so let's get down to business here. What I go over every time in case there are newbies, which I hope there's newbies. Thanks for popping on in. And let's go up to Brand here, because I see that my sponsorship thing overlay is gone down. There we go. Got to have that little link in there. Got to say hello to all of our John Beaders. So here's what you're going to find when you go on that John Bead PDF's Facebook group. These are the instructions that you can download for free. I write them all out, tell you all the stuff you need. There's pictures in here. Generally, it's just two. This one's so simple. We just did like 1, 2, and then the SKU as well. If you just kind of want to go on there and get it. I will mention that bit.ly link that I just put in the comments there, that goes straight to the bead shop, which is the Amazon link for these special things. If you go to johnbead.com, they're a distributor, wholesaler, manufacturer. So that site is an overall site for everything. So you're not going to be able to buy straight off that site. You're going to go buy your aluminum wire off of the bit.ly link that I just gave you. So yeah, so everything's right on here that you need. And if you're a jigufacturer, you have this guy right here. Okay, this is how everything's set up on the jig. Today, we're not going to do that. We are going to use some of the jig parts. It's just kind of helpful, but this is all we need. Nothing fancy. You don't need to have a jig to do this. We're just going to make a bunch of links, one in each color if we can. And again, this one's called Spinner Element 3+ Ways. What we do here is you can kind of see, I kind of give categories to everything. Sarah helps me out so much with this. This can also be a link, but it can be an element as well. So it's just an element, just like here's something you can add with your imagination. Obviously, here it is. This would be an adorable earring, a big hoop earring. You know, this would be a cute link. This could be a focal to, we got 3+ ways already, to a tension bracelet. This one probably wouldn't work so well as a bracelet because this link is pretty big and your wrist isn't that big, right, to be able to go through. You probably have 4 links. But hey, if you want to try it that way, I'd like to see it. So anyway, so let's make these. We'll make some jump rings too to put them together, and you'll see how easy this all is. So I'm going to grab some of this. Look at, we've got this beautiful green. Again, this is, or maybe I didn't say again, this is all 12 gauge, right? So we got, again, these beautiful saturated colors. Here we've got green, we've got red. This is our fuchsia color. We've got this royal blue that's just so luscious. Here, I think this one is purple. I think there's a lilac somewhere too. And we've got orange. This is actually not teal. I have it listed as teal, but it's called turquoise on the site. And then I love this apple green. So the only one that we've got done already is the turquoise. So we are just going to take that out of the loop. We're going to put it on over there. And we're just going to start making links. And, you know, I need to know if you guys here, we need to talk shop here, because if I'm going to Palm Springs, I have never been before. You guys need to let me know what I need to do when I get there, because I have not done, I'm not a very proactive traveler. But now I'm like, hey, we're leaving tomorrow morning. What can we do there? We're going with some friends who are also going to be showing us around. So I'm not that bad, but I'm not really a planner. Can you tell? So I also kind of moved the jig over here, and we're not going to use, well, I'm going to try not to use the jig to make this barbell link, but we can make all the colors here. And you can kind of see here that we've got some overlapping going on here. You don't have to overlap all this much, but if you think about a keychain ring, you know how that goes around and it goes around, but then, you know, there's this area where you can just loop into one and you go around and you run, and then it goes onto the whole ring. That's sort of the feature of this, but it's not the utility of this. We're not going to be putting anything onto it. It's just a link. That's a keychain ring link. If you kind of follow me, I just sort of like the idea of the design, and you can kind of see here, this is like a little bit of a diagonal cut right here that we've just taken a little needle file, and we're just going to knock it off and deburr a little bit. So basically, we just kind of want this look, right? Which I think is adorable, if I do say so myself. And then, as I said before, this is just sort of a fun fidget little spinner thing. I love kinetic things, and you could put a bead on here if you want. There's a 4th way. But I also just sort of like it here just for the simplicity of the movement itself. It's just sort of fun, you know. But as I said, we can do a whole lot of stuff with it. Back over here, as usual, this part of the template is going to tell you how much wire you're going to need. For the split ring, this part that we're going to go around, the 1.5 inch round, we call them big rounds in Jigville, we're going to do about 12 inches. That's probably way overkill, and then 6 inches for each of the barbell links. Okay, so let's get started. Let's drop all the wire on the floor and see if we've got any comments that we need to ask. Hi, Annie. Hello from Niagara Falls. And relax and have fun. Can be used as a belt loop. Oh, how fun is that? And remember, I mean, I'm not using this as a keychain element because we're using it in aluminum, but you could make this in steel, right? You could make this in any other kind of wire that you're going to be able to hold up to some wear and tear and some utility, right? Hi. A bead that slides will add a lot more movement too, absolutely, and that whole weight thing, right? You've got this sort of seesaw thing, very good. I love you guys. You guys are thinking, Lincoln. Okay, so let's get this off. Is that a foot? I bet you I shorted myself. Yeah. How silly. Hi, Susan. So hold that thought there, Laura. Also, if you're going to put a bead on here, this is 12 gauge wire, so it's going to have to be like a big hole bead, okay? But you could also put something else on here. You could add, you know, you could put a bead as a charm on a jump ring, another jump ring, and then have that kind of going back and forth. Lots of cute things. Okay, so I see Laura. What is Laura saying? I found the location, but I'm not finding the spinner pattern. Will it be loaded later? Yes, I think we're a little bit late on that one. So sorry about that. Again, the whole sort of we're a little bit doing two things, and so we're a little bit. But yeah, it should be up. I think John B probably just got it, so at least by tomorrow. Also, you can get it for $1 at the Etsy site too. So my apologies. Yeah, that's my bad. My bad. Okay. Hello, Brenda. Where are the? Okay, so I know that this is about 6.5 inches. So I'm just going to kind of double that, give it a nice big, so I know that I've got way more than I need. Put that in the used pile. And all I'm doing here is I'm just going to go center this, right? And I'm just going to go around here and keep going around. Not everyone will have their display in the way and the other setups. But now my big round is attached to my jig. But if you were working with something like what would you guys have in your house that's that is about this size, like a 1 1/4. Like we could use a spice jar, right? As long as it doesn't have a lid. You need something that's sort of not conical. That's a parallel up and down with no little like ledges and stuff like that. So look at how nicely that went around there. And to harden this, what we're going to do, because we're having layers, is we're going to harden it sideways, okay? So I'm just kind of like, especially with the aluminum, you can do this. And I love how it just gets that little bit, you know, kind of puts that in line. But you're going to have some overlapping. You're going to have about three layers in some places. So, you know, but that's the way that we would do this. I'm not going to bring it to my my bench block here because I don't want to flatten. If I'm flattening things down, I'm not going to have that beautiful layered circle, right? So all we're going to do now is we're just going to cut this on the diagonal. If I can find my cutters that are in my lap. Medicine bottle. Coral, you win. Little alcohol bottles. Yes, very good. You need something completely cylindrical. Cylindrical. Okay, so all I'm doing here is I'm just going to use the back and edge of this, and I'm just going to make a nice diagonal cut. I'm going to hold the piece that's going to fly off and get a good grip. We are cutting 12 gauge, even though it is aluminum. Okay. Now that's going to have some, right? Because I've got quite the weapon right up here, so be careful. And what I want to do is I want to just let's see how this one is. This one you can see there's just a little bit of an area with just one. You can do this however you want. I mean, there's no science to it. I just wanted it to be somewhat of a nod to our split ring. Split ring, which is basically keychain ring, is basically the same thing, right? It's just in bigger format. And so I think what I'm going to do that is I'm just going to make this look like diagonal. I'm cutting quite a bit off here, but that's okay too. Okay, I should have been holding that. And that's basically it for that, except I do want to do, I knew I put that needle file somewhere. Aha! I love this. So Gerald says, before I had the Now That's a Jig, I used the container for my makeup remover pads. By the way, hi, Gerald. I know, and it's kind of like, then it goes into your studio, and then what do you do with your eye makeup? You have to just get a new bottle of eye makeup remover pads. Okay, I'm going to show you this one time, but I'm not going to do this like for all of these because you don't need to see me, filing all of these. I'm just going to take and just just get that burr off the top of there, so we're not going to be wearing this against our skin and against our nice clothing. We don't want to be snagging everything, right? So I'm just taking, especially that one, I'm just kind of giving it the old 1-2 here with a needle file. Is all you really need to do, is just kind of just take those burrs off. I don't, in the instructions, I didn't this time say to use a cup burr, because a cup burr is going to round the end, and for this particular style, I just like this diagonal look better. So boom, there you go, and you saw how quickly that worked up, right? Let's just do another one in the orange. And I mean, already look at this color, this lusciousness that we've got going on here. It's just going to be so cool. All right. What else? What else do we have? Any comments? Anyone got anything that I need to do in Palm Springs? Let's see here. Just looking through to make sure I've got everything. You used it when it was empty. What a solution. You know I'm teasing you. Okay, so here we go back. And I mean, this is not going to go around here as nice and as lovely. And I'm trying to make, as I'm going around here, I'm pulling up any slack that I might have, but working with this aluminum is like working with like butter, right? Also, you guys, I've been talking about this. Love this little hammer from Metal Complex from John Bead. It's really nice for the aluminum. Alrighty. See, I kind of want this. If you have a lot of gap here, you can just take it back down to here and just kind of like give it some memory of being in a nice parallel formation. Pretty darn nice. Did you guys get to go over to the Great Bead Extravaganza and put your number in? I know that Coral did when she was over there for the last. So this one, I'm just going to really have to go to the end to get more torque on here. There we go. And again, I just kind of like to make that line up. That's just a good kind of rule of thumb there, is just line up this whole diagonal. You know, when you're doing production work and you're doing some things that, let's just do one more. Let's do purple. you get in, you know, you kind of find these little habits or little helps that get you through to a little bit more productive way. Right now, I'm going to actually just try to work right off the coil here and see if that helps me. Because I would love to do about, oh, I don't know. Who knows? Wouldn't it just be great with this just big, long thing? I mean, the cool thing about a big link like this is that you can make, you can cover a lot of real estate in a short amount of time, which is just fun. Okay. Go back. And I like how I don't need to do this because I know I'm going to be cutting these off, but I love just being able to get that last little straightened part down against this form. Let's see here. There we go. Isn't that amazing? I just love when you're working against a form, how you can get these perfect shapes. Is that right? All of a sudden I'm mixed up. That's good. Wow. So all of a sudden it didn't make sense to me, but basically we want that diagonal, that top part to be going toward the center, right? Coming off of that. And I'm like, how did I do that? This is so crazy. I know, I did it like this. Okay. And there we go. As my mother-in-law would say, you think it's easy. I wonder if I made this one different, because it's just like, what in the heck? I bet you I made this one different on the forum. I worry about myself sometimes. Okay, here we go. We're going to cut this amount off. There we go. Okay, so we've got these cutie pie pieces here. Let's go ahead and make some of the barbell links and see how that goes. Now, we can put these off to the side, right? And here, this is the exact distance, the exact size that is going to work with these. I won't fool you, because I made one and I was just like, I was kind of fighting with it. I'm like, no, it needs to be just a little bit longer. And I'll show you when you have the jig pattern for it. It has to be on a diagonal, and it has to do with the distance between the pegs. These are sort of, you can see they're sort of staggered rows and stuff like that. So I think I started up here and it was just too short. I just needed a little bit more with the diagonal and being sort of in between these links too. So this is the barbell link setup that we're doing here. Basically, we're just going to be making this form and following this on the jig, or here we just straighten it out because it would look silly being diagonal since we don't need that. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be using the round nose pliers, and I do know that this bottom part of this is just slightly smaller than this, so I'm going to kind of have to, but if you've got a bail making pliers too, that will work really well. But basically this goes around a 1/4 inch inner diameter, okay? So this is probably like, my fractions, a little less than that. Who's good with math out there? Okay, so we already did the turquoise one. Let's grab the, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use this as my measurement. So this is basically a pattern, right? I know I call it a pattern, but that's basically what it is. And I'm going to work right off the roll here. So I'm going to true up this end. Okay. And I'm going to make myself. And you guys, there are other things that we've done with this barbell link. It's a favorite of mine. You can tell, I think back in January, we did a few things with the barbell link. Okay. I'm just going to be somewhat gentle here. Let's see if we can just make it. I just want to experiment and see if we can just make it with this. So first of all, I made this P shape, right? And I'm just going to back it off here. Open it up a little bit so that I can put it in there and see how it's pretty close. Oh, it's not too bad. Okay, I was worried about that. Okay, so basically we want at this point right here, I'm going to mark it with my fingers, and then I'm just going to get back in there with my, and I'm going to get right in there, and I might have to back off of this one. Hey, not too bad. I just don't like that. That's not like a beautiful circle, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in there now, and I'm going to just sort of clip it off, and then I can finesse it a little bit so I don't have this whole roll hanging off of there and being the weight that I don't need for this right now. Okay. But before you make those lollipop on top little tweaks, you do want to make sure that this measurement is spot on. Okay, and then again, we're going to fix that a little bit. Or is that the one? No. Okay, they're both a little bit off. So we're just going to try to make them as round as we possibly can. And get back in there just gently. It does not take much to sort of mar this beautiful, smooth surface. Okay, not too bad. So I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to cut just that little bit. See where that overlap there? That overlaps. I want to get that off so that when I put it down, it's going to go without, with no resistance at all. If that makes sense. See, if I just want to push it down, I'm still getting resistance from that back bar, so I know that that's not exactly what I need to take a little bit more off. Okay, and like that. Okay, pretty darn good. Then I'm going to get back in there with my tweaker, and exactly where that meets, right there, I'm going to put my chain nose pliers, which has a nice edge to it, hard edge, and I'm just going to move it backwards so that I've got that lollipop on top, and I can tweak that again and make that, because it's a little bit over. And you know, sometimes you just have to kind of go back and forth. I don't get too perfect, but that's pretty darn close, right? So how's hump day for everyone out there? Do make sure and get everyone, head into the Great Bead Extravaganza site. We're doing these takeovers, and everyone's going to be doing fun little giveaways and stuff leading up to the event. So then it just becomes, you know, way cool. There's all kinds of stuff going on, giveaways and gift certificates and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So there, and this should not line up anymore, okay? So if you say put it down here and it's different, it's because you did this tweaking, and it's going to be a different size. And so that all went into the research and like what was going to, you know, work or not. I am going to bring this over here to the other way around to this, and I'm just going to make sure everything is nice and flat. Oops, and save it from going into the floor. Yay, Brenda. Okay, So that's where everything gets nice and straight. If you have like kind of a wobble in the span that goes straight, just bring it up to your bench block or your anvil if you have a mini anvil, and just put it like right where it's going to not affect having anything else going on the corner there, so you can get it into exactly what you want straight, and that's just going to save you a lot of time, and it's just going to make your work look that much more professional. Okay, so easy part, here we go. This is just all about opening like a jump ring. So you're going to open this plain loop. Don't do like me. You're going to open it up far enough so you can loop this on. Oops. And this could be a fun thing too, right? If you take all the different contrasts between them. Let's go ahead and be a little matchy-matchy for right now. And we're going to get this on here, and we're going to close that in that same position, right? We're not changing the the integrity of that circle. The circle stays the same. It just opens and closes sideways. Okay. Then you're going to want to check and see where your opening is, because you want that to come up to the span at the opposite end. I'm going to, let me see here. I think it helps, yeah, if you can, let me see if it does help. Rock it back toward it, then slide it on. It does help if you do it one way or the other when you do this. And we're going to kind of just hold this in place a little bit, support it from the back, and then rock it back into position. Here we go. And look at that. It's just this free floating little thing in there. That is just where we wanted it. So darn fun. So darn fun. So you can see too, like I like to sort of match up my sizes and my proportions, especially since we only have the two gauges of wire with the aluminum. We're not using the 18 gauge this time. But basically, I'm just going to grab, you know, like one of the pieces that I cut off. And I'm just going to, again, use like the same type of size. This is the 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to kind of wrap this a little bit. Like I don't usually suggest that you use such little tiny pieces of wire, especially when it's this inexpensive, because you have like more of a propensity to hurt yourself. But with the aluminum, it's so tempting because you just cut off these little bits, right? So you're basically making a jump ring one at a time. You are relaxing. That is so nice. What's your temp there, Annie? No relaxing for me. I got to take over to run here. Okay. So I'm just basically cutting off the edge for those of you guys who haven't seen me do a jump ring before. I just sort of try to get in here and just do a little bit of, just take that little tiny edge off and flip it and do the other side. But with the jump rings, I hardly ever, probably with aluminum I should, do the hardening. It's kind of a proportion thing, especially with the 12 gauge to this thing. So let's just open and close it around 2 of these, and let's see if this, as I actually haven't tried it, it works in my head. That goes on there, and this goes on there. And what you could do if you wanted was to do one jumper in each color that you're doing, or you know, you can decide what you're doing there. We did a cute little, I think it was love ad infinitum, because it was the word love and it went all around in a circle. And we just kind of messed around with some jump ring colors and stuff that would kind of bridge the color transitions. Anyway, it's looking pretty cute. It's looking pretty darn cute. Not my best jump ring ever, but it's okay. So let's go ahead, as long as we've done that one, let's just go ahead and make one on the jig that we can kind of see. I didn't do the setup for the jig, but I'm going to repeat it here. And it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, go down 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half, 6. Okay, so I'm going to work kind of backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half, 6, 5, I guess. I don't know. Looks like rains are coming. Let's go back to Lori. Thank you so much for coming on, Lori. I love that I think you're new, right? So Lori says, I'm new to jewelry making and wire working. I did buy a small metal jig, but yours looks like it has really neat posts. Yes, they're we call them pegs. And ours, mine, now that's a jig, screws in. So everything's very stable. It doesn't have the large rubber rings. Okay, so yeah, and those are acetal, but yeah, I can see how you'd see these are rubber. Where can you find that? I'm so sorry to have to say, but it's on sabbatical, and it's pretty much, it's on extended sabbatical, and I am just not sure. I'm trying, and there's something, the universe is telling me that it's just not my time to continue to sell this right now. So you can get a used one. Let me just make sure that this is correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, between them. Yeah, so it's really not available unless you go to, like, now that's a Jigufacturers. Sometimes there's used ones that people are like, well, I'm not really using mine, and so then they might be willing to sell one. So sorry about that. That's why we have these other templates that you can use, and that work nicely as well. Okay, sorry to disappoint. And I like to support the people that have the jigs too, so it's like, what to do, right? Okay, so this is the setup here, and if you had your jig and you had your pattern template, print it off onto vellum, which is what we suggest, and then you would just overlay that right onto here. But just because I didn't think about doing it that way, all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be spanning this here, and I'm going to go around nicely all the way around, and I'm going to make this nice and straight there and go all the way around. I'm just working right off the coil. And so you can see if you do have this setup here, things are going to go a lot faster for you than just kind of like putting it down to the paper, picking it back up, blah, blah, blah. But there we go. So we have that again, and right now I can actually just go right back in here with no waste whatsoever and get back in here. It's a perfect circle. Cut off where I need, and then get back in here so that can go down straight like that. I can also get back in there just like I did and file that off. Yep. I always have to think about where this goes. So I want that flush end where that loop ends, where I want that loop to end in that part. So I have to always think about it. That doesn't come naturally to me. Okay. So there I go. You know, it's still a little bit wonky, but that's what we do when we get the hammer out, right? well, first what I want to do is I want to go ahead and tweak these again. And get back in here and tweak, tweak, tweak. And of course you get really good at this, right? And you can open and close this like this more. But again, the least you can amount of time you have with aluminum against a metal tool, the better off you're going to be, the better the result. Okay. And my favorite part, I mean, look at that. Just straighten that lovely thing right out there. It's like I can get in there with this cute little hammer. I mean, it is phenomenal. All right. Patty, great question. I know. Lori, I'm so sorry. It is a bummer with 3 exclamation points. And Patty says, is that dead software? Yes. I think aluminum, there's really no other way to do aluminum than dead soft. I don't know. What do I know about that? But yeah, so it is dead soft and it is aluminum. That's why. I love answering you guys' questions, so please do keep them coming. All right. I'm just going to grab this off. Sometimes, again, it's easier when working off the coil is sometimes nice, but it's also like kind of heavy and awkward. Flip and line that right up there. So I've got that step lining up just so it's straight across there. And then doing that. If you think you want to not be so roguish and you want to hammer your jump rings, you sure can do that. When you're doing jump rings, I kind of like to put a little hut over them so they don't go flying too far. All right, so now we have this and this and this, and we're going to put it together. So let's go ahead and again and open this. Kind of nice big gap there. You want it to go through in case both, right? Because it's 2. I just like to give it a little bit of a thing there. And then remember, you've got this where the opening is, that's the side you want to bring up and over. And then just a little bit, I always try to go back instead of going forward for this one so that you can lay it on. This is a little bit crazy, but we're just going to, yeah, do like that. Okay. Again, so I've kind of like made a pattern here that this side, this color here, which is going to be here, the jump ring goes with this. So unless you don't really care to have a pattern, which I'm sort of surprised that I do, I'm not very patterny. I'm going to open that up nice. And then I'm just going to do this. So what happened if you don't want to like do these 2 together? Right? What happens if you just want to like just have it just go totally wonky? Because here you're getting a pattern, right? Where these aren't, you're basically anchoring these together. So they're going to fall in a continuous line. What if you just put this anywhere you want to? Are we going to have enough room for 4, up to 4 strands in there or not? I love this sort of experimentation. We do. Let's see, so far it's not a problem. And then I almost like this better. Look at that. That's just exciting to me, because look at that. Because then we don't have, I mean, this is cute. You know, I mean, if you wanted to have sort of this line going through, and if that's the aesthetic you want, but what if you have this and you still have, so you've got this connect going, and you've got like, it's like some of those spirally things where it's going one way, but then there's something else going another way. I like that better. And so it's just going to be moving all around. I just think that's so much fun. I'm changing this one. Yeah. Right? I mean, I just think this is so fun. I probably want to put it on the other side of this one. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, experiment and see what you guys like. And I want to see all the ones you make. All right. See, already I'm just kind of like, they're kind of like falling into a pattern, which, and I'm just like, get out of there. And it could do that too. So, you know, you'll just want to experiment with these and just sort of see. But, you know, and so look at the, let's bring this around back over to here. Oops, Debbie, I've still got you. Is that soft wire up there? Hold on a second. And so look at all that we've done, 3 links, and we are making quite a bit of, you know, progress here. So I would say it would be really fun to do a long one, but we're probably about, I don't know, almost a fifth of the way around. So much fun here. All right, so I didn't see these. All of a sudden these came up, or somehow I missed them. So Debbie says, I'm sorry I missed how long the wires for the ring. About a foot. About a foot. It's probably overkill. Like what I do when I make these patterns and stuff and tell you, thank you so much for that question, Debbie. When I tell you about lengths and stuff, I'm just giving you a lot to work with. I want you to have success, and then if you get into production and stuff, you can tweak that down, and you probably just want to put like a note on there, especially if you're working with a precious wire. You want to you definitely want to you know, waste less, but I always give you a little bit more so that you you have what you need. Debbie says she likes the wonky way too. Yep. Yep. On a necklace. Oh, a necklace. Very cool. Yes. And it can be, or, you know, awesome. Let's see here. Oh. I see that I'm going backwards here. What are you making? I only found John Bead on Facebook and noticed this live class. Oh my gosh, this is our day to be together, Patty. Thanks so much for joining us, and I love your puppy. He's so cute. Yeah. So this is an element. This is the spinner element, and you know, we could do a number of different things. I mean, this could even be like a rain chain. You know, or you could do it in a bigger format. But like one could be like an earring, right? That's cute too. The other day we took a link and turned it into earrings because I made another one. I'm like, I'm making a couple of ear wires, and boom, I had earrings for dinner I had earrings for dinner. I had earrings to wear to dinner that night. So yeah, but I think I really, really, really like it as a link. I think it's just so much fun and bright and colorful. But I could also see it in steel, in this sort of dark, moody color. I just also like the size. But look at how light this is. This is the aluminum, and it's just so light and airy and fun. I mean, especially I think for summer, going into summer and having these just sort of bright. A lot of times we're wearing a lot more brighter colors, and yeah. Ooh, eyeglass holder pin, Lori. That's a great idea. I love it, girl. Got it going on. Cool. So did I miss anyone's comment? Looks like rain's coming. Susan's saying hi to Sharon, their friends, online friends. What I miss, you guys, is that sometimes you guys will meet. We all meet online, and then the trade shows were away. Where were you, Sharon? I think you were with someone who knew me or something like that, and you guys met, or you and Susan met, or it's just way fun to actually then meet in person. And I love the friendships that we forge here online. Wind chimes, yes, Annie. I love it. She's saying wind chimes. So don't forget, I mean, we love jewelry, right? And we're just making jewelry, but there's so many applications for wire and home dec. I mean, you're on Instagram now, and you can see all these different things that are being made, home dec wise, like DIY, that are just fun, you know. Napkin ring, you know, we could do something like that, not with the bar in the middle, but cute things. Especially when you're working kind of on a budget, and this aluminum is just so economical. I'm peeling my leg up from the chair. I really have to put like a cover on this, or wear longer pants. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Well, we have been live for a little over an hour. I like to keep it to somewhat of a, an hour-ish. But I'm going to remind you guys, if you haven't already, and if you want to win the necklace that I have on, which looks like this right here. Here's the glamour shot. Whoops, we got to go up and forgot we still had you on there, Amy or Annie. And you can win this by going to the John Bead Facebook group. No, I'm sorry. The Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook group. You can see that I was live right before this, and we were talking about just spending a little bit of time together when that take, and then just put your number in anywhere. Make sure that you're not duplicating another person's number, and go ahead and get a chance to win. And at 11:59 tonight, I'm going to have to set my alarm to get up at that time probably. I'm going to pull the winner and do another little ad. I'm getting a frog in my throat about that. And do not forget, on Sunday, June 13th, I'm going to be doing the last session of the Great Bead Extravaganza, and we're going to be doing this piece here, this beautiful piece here, or the other one that looks like this. It got buried right here, and there will be a kit for that as well on Etsy at www.brendaschwader.etsy.com. Sharon had already put that in the thread a little bit farther up, and I got these fun gemstone beads that'll be a little bit of mix in there, and we'll throw in some ostrich egg too. We'll see. Anyway, please join me for that. As with all of the Great Bead Extravaganza weekends, we're going to be having on Friday night a preview of what we're going to be doing, which this is also these sort of takeovers that are leading up to this. Every day there's going to be a new person doing the takeover, and we're just having a ton of fun. Please do follow me on Instagram. I would absolutely love it if you would do that. That's where all the fun is right now. I'm having so much fun just adding a whole bunch of content, reels, stories, everything on there, and my handles at Brenda Schwader Jewelry, all one word. All right. I think that's about it. I love spending time with you guys. Thanks so much for coming. I've really enjoyed meeting those of you who are new. Thanks for finding me. And generally, for those of you who are new, I go live every Thursday. We're going to be bumping that 2 o'clock time frame a little bit earlier, I think, or maybe switching to Wednesday. Wednesday seems to be sort of the sweet spot day, but we'll let you know. Mwah. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Thanks you so much. I love you lots. See you next time. Adios.